We're in the heat of the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona, but inside the cool Veterans Memorial Coliseum for the Ford Budweiser U.S. Hot Rod Association Truck Pull Championship Series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Ken Brew. You know the man to my left. This is Mike Galloway. Mike, tonight, super stocks, modifieds, monster trucks. It's going to be a slam-bang hour.
We've got a great show, Ken. Got the modified trucks, 6,200 pounds, no cubic inch limitation, full-blown modified trucks. Good truck. Really fine competitors here tonight. Then we've got a super stock class. They've got some limitations. 455 cubic inches, a street-type tire that's recognized by the Department of Transportation, a whole lot of real good vehicles on hand, and then some wild exhibition vehicles. Finishing up with monsters, we've got a track vehicle, we've got a tired vehicle, lots and lots of good, exciting action on hand. The track is excellent, by the way.
And speaking of vehicles, what are we standing in front of but the rig of one Dan Coelho?
Dan Coelho's got his whole group here today. We're going to talk to him a little bit later on. We're going to find out about Coelho and Red Rabbit and Wild Hare and Jackrabbit. So we've got a lot of things lined up.
And we're also going to find out what Dan has inside his secret compartment. The Ford Budweiser U.S. Hot Rod Association Truck Pull Championships. Brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, and proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Now we'll be right back here from Phoenix, and when we come back, monster truck action. All straight ahead in just a moment.
Watch out. The wildest show on wheels is about to roar into your living room. It's the ultimate home video. Blood, sweat, and gears. Bigfoot takes on the toughest full-blown competition ever before facing his greatest test when Sergeant Slaughter and his battle battalion challenge Bigfoot to an all-out tug of war. So if you want gear-jamming, car-crushing, down and dirty action, get your credit card ready to order your video now. Call 1-800-351-1500. Blood, sweat, and gears.
Hold it. Ho, ho, ho. So you're going to finally meet Cindy, huh? Tonight. Good. So first impressions are very important. I think. Okay. Now, imagine. Lights are low, the music's soft. Knock the door opens up. Somebody's out there doing this. What is this? She's got dandruff? No, you have dandruff. No. Yes, you do. I shampoo every day. You can shampoo your brains out with regular shampoo. Wouldn't matter. Brains out? Yeah, well, so use that. Head and Shoulders? Works for me, my friend. But you don't have dandruff. Exactamundo.
Head and Shoulders. Because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
I'm Michael Andretti, famous for fast starts and fast cars. I get my power in my own cars from Astrolite batteries. On the road, off the road, or around the town with Astrolite batteries.
Astrolite batteries with advanced power technology to get you off to a fast start.
Not bad.
Astrolite gives you the power.
Now you can rent to own an all-in-one home entertainment center with TV, VCR, and stereo as low as $19.95 a week from the champion of rent-to-own, Captain Color Time.
The end of the season is near, and points leader Danny Sullivan fights to keep his lead over Bobby Rahal. The champion Spark Plug 300, Sunday afternoon at 4:30 Eastern, live on ESPN.
You're looking at the inside of the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. This is Phoenix, Arizona. And tonight, it's the battle of the monster trucks. Now, the first truck we're going to see tonight is the Predator. A real fine-looking monster truck, Mike. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, what they're going to do, Ken, this is a brand-new 1988 Chevrolet supercharged alcohol motor. Alan Pizzo runs both of them. This is a timed event to see how fast he can pull the track, the sled, from the starting line to the finish line. And then they'll bring in the track vehicle, and the track vehicle will do the same. I would venture to say the track vehicle might have a little more advantage, should have more traction, although it's quite a bit heavier. He's off and running, dips gears, gets it rolling, the sled's working with him. Let's see how he does. Heading it down to the end. Oh, it's right at the door. Look at that wheel stand. Wow, wheel stand. Yeah. Pizzo sticks them right straight up in the air, right there on the end. The weight box got heavy. A beautiful job for an 88 Chevrolet.
What a showman. Well, it's no trick pulling it down with a monster truck, but the real game is against the clock. That's where he really got to make his time.
Time to vent. Now, the track vehicle will come back in a moment. Let's watch him as he goes down the track. Right there, shifts gears. Allen shifts again. Notice the front end coming up. Well, he's got a good run with it. Weight box not up on top of it this time. He's getting up a little speed, but now you see the weight box coming into play. It's moving up the ramp very quickly. Right on the end. Look at the tires wrinkle and bite. And when that happens, Alan Pizzo sticks it right straight up in the air, waves at the crowd. A beautiful job.
Alan could look at the ceiling and kiss it. Great show on the timed event. Alan Pizzo and the Predator, a pull time of 13.48, just under 13 and a half seconds to cover the 200 feet. Well, backing up is something that General Patton probably could only dream of years ago in World War II. This is the Predator track. It's not truck, it's not tank. It's half truck and half tank, and it's Alan Pizzo behind the wheel. 88 Chevy and a 572 under the hood.
An M4 military tank or Army personnel carrier is what the drive section comes out of. The motor sets in the back, facing what we would consider backwards, with the front of it pointed towards the tailgate. It pulls off of the front of it, like most vehicles pulling off the back. There you see him setting up the chain that he's hooking with. Alan back making sure there's Lauren Prayer on the right. He's the gentleman riding the sled. Tremendous operator, new 88 Chevrolet. Now 22,000 pounds of monster truck. Doesn't look quite that heavy, but the bottom half of that, Ken Brew, is all horsepower. This thing should really fly. It's got a lot of horsepower, a lot of traction. The only thing is the weight. Let's see how he does. Not getting the kind of ground speed yet, trying to build up a little power down the side of the track. Going to go to the left-hand side. The weight is coming up very ever so slowly, but Alan is on his way. He's working it. Had to correct it a little bit right on the end. Wasn't the kind of time that I really thought we'd see out of that Predator tank. I thought that he would really lead with the sled hard. Thought he should have all the traction in the world, and with 1,500 horsepower, he should have been able to zing it real quick.
Well, now you said that in a battle of a monster truck and a track type vehicle, that the track normally has the advantage. Is that because of the traction involved? Or
also the traction, but the ability to turn. These vehicles can turn and maneuver very, very quickly because they do it by locking up a brake. They want to go to the left. They lock the left-hand brake, and it spins them around. Well, let's watch him. He's got fairly good ground speed, but it seems to slow down as he goes down the track. The weight box coming up on him, putting a little weight on him, but Alan doesn't get the shift out of it. Doesn't ever get the power that he really thinks he should right on the end of the track. You notice the front of it coming up a little bit, but nothing like the big truck, the tire truck. Now, it pulls off of the front instead of the rear. Right out the gate, that's not a problem, but the time, I don't think is going to be quite as good as you'd expect.
So the Predator tracks does not quite make the tracks that the monster truck makes. Alan Pizzo in this vehicle covering the 200 feet in 17.3 seconds. So Predator wins the battle in terms of time so far. And coming up next is Dan Coelho from Turlock, California, Race City, USA. Mike Galloway had a chance to visit with.
I'm with Dan Coelho, and you've heard the name Coelho several times, and also Turlock, California. Tonight we're going to talk to Dan about his vehicles and one of them in particular, but you've got a couple of modified trucks here tonight also, Dan.
Yeah, I got the Wild Hare and a Red Rabbit truck that'll be running in the 6200 modified class tonight.
And then we've got the Jackrabbit.
Yeah, we got the Jackrabbit. Unfortunately, Marvin Fernandez, who normally drives the Jackrabbit, wasn't able to come on this trip, but I'm going to be trying to do the best I can with it.
Now, Dan, why are all the trucks some kind of a rabbit?
Well, I am of Portuguese descent, and my last name, Coelho, in Portuguese means rabbit.
So if I ordered a Coelho, I'd have rabbit.
Yeah, you have to say it a little different, though. You got to say Coelho.
Dan, let's talk about the Jackrabbit for a little while. Where did this truck come from originally?
Well, this truck used to be my truck that I used to tow the trailer that I hauled the other two pull trucks on. Had a V8 Cummins engine in it, and it's kind of an old truck. It's a 62 model Freightliner, and the engine blew up one day, and I felt it really wasn't worth fixing, so I parked it. A couple of years later, I decided, had a crazy idea that I'd make an exhibition truck out of it. I had some extra parts left over from the Red Rabbit truck that used to run in the super stock class. I had upped it up to the modified and put a bigger engine in it, and took the engine out of that truck and put it in this one, and it's just been thrilling crowds all over the country.
When Dan Coelho goes down the track, it's a lot different than most of the cab-over tractor Freightliners. We'll see him in just a moment.
There's Dan Coelho, the Jackrabbit. It almost looks like the front end of a semi.
It is the front end of a semi. It's a 1963 Freightliner cab-over, single axle, with a 413 cubic inch Chrysler engine right in the front of it, right beside the driver, down low in the chassis. Automatic transmission then goes through a standard. But watch this little truck. It's real short coupled. Dan has really built a very, very exciting vehicle out of it. Blows the air horn, looks like a trucker's dream as he goes down the track.
Yeah.
But watch him take off. The front end already bouncing in the air. High in the sky. Here comes Coelho.
Yeah.
He is really trucking out the door. Look at the height and the speed of it. Just stands it right up on the end and kind of waves it to the crowd, holds it very, very steadily, and he just eases it down. Beautiful exhibition vehicle. Dan Coelho, of course, out of Turlock, as you mentioned, does a fabulous job with all of his vehicles.
There's the horn, eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking with Dan Coelho, and there's the Rabbit.
The Jackrabbit. Well, Dan gets a tremendous amount of ground speed early as he takes off from the starting line. Front end just trying to come up almost immediately when he leaves it. But right there is his high side. Up in the air, touching the ground a couple of times. That's the last time it goes to the ground until it goes out to the end. High in the sky, Dan Coelho with the Jackrabbit. The little Freightliner may have not be on the highway anymore, but it sure found a home right here on the bull circuit.
And we'll be right back here in Phoenix to look at some super stocks in just a moment.
Monster Truck Fans, this is the video you've been waiting for. This is Bigfoot, king of the monster truck. 60 minutes of non-stop monster truck action that will blow you away. It's all new, brand new. You'll see it all from car-crushing heroics to dangerous monster truck rollovers, heart-pounding wheel stands, monster truck drag racing, hill climb, music videos, and Bigfoot deep in the mud. Witness the first car crush ever and ride in the cab with Bigfoot as he pours on the power, plus much, much more. Nothing stops this giant muscle machine as he flies through the air, jumping cars and smashing everything in his way. This is the video that everyone's talking about. This is the ultimate in monster truck excitement. This is Bigfoot, king of the monster truck. This offer not available in stores, so order yours today. Have your charge card ready to call now. 1-800-648-5600 to get your copy of Bigfoot, king of the monster trucks for $24.95 plus shipping and handling. Call now and get a Bigfoot cap free. Offer not available in stores, so call now. 1-800-648-5600. It's incredible. 1925, the wearers of the green went undefeated and captured the national championship. Now the Dartmouth tradition continues against Harvard Saturday afternoon at 12:30 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Welcome back to Phoenix. Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Ken Brew, Mike Attaway, and Super Stocks are up next. The Super Stock Championships. And on this very warm night, it is always good to feel coolish. Tim Coolish behind the wheel of the Sunset Dream.
1972 Dodge, 318 cubic inches, can go up to 455 cubic inches in this class. This is a super stock class. One carburetor, naturally aspirated. You must run pump gas. You've got to run DOT, Department of Transportation, street-type tires. They only weigh 5,800 pounds. It's a good place to get started, and they do put a lot of action out.
All right, he's got the green, and he is underway.
318 cubic inches, and he's smoking the clutch off the starting line, trying to get it up a little ground speed off of it. Easing down the track, just building up a little power, but it's not going to be enough. Ooh. Oh, Ken, that is a sad mistake. He clutched the truck, came back out on the clutch, trying to get a little engine RPM. That's not the thing to do. If you come back out on that clutch too hard, you get the whisk broom out and pick the pieces up off the track.
So Tim Coolish a little foolish with the maneuver at mid-track. Here's the tail end of it, Mike, and as you say, he was going nowhere and then died.
Tried to build a little speed off the starting line, couldn't get it. Watch him right when he knows the sled got the best of him. Right there, he clutches it, trying to get a little more RPM, trying to break the tires loose. Comes back out on the clutch, it bounces. That can be a real sad situation.
And here is the miracle maker, Bobby Layton from Phoenix, a 74 Ford, 429 under the hood, and here we go.
This is one of the regular competing trucks in this class. We're going to see a lot different in distance. Easing into it.
comes up to kiss him.
What a pull, Ken Brew.
You know, that's interesting strategy, Mike. He kind of like lollipopped it till mid-track and then really dialed it in.
I think he was testing the track conditions and also trying to feel the track out, see what kind of traction. When he found out he had traction, he really got into it hard. Immediately, the truck hooked up. He was doing about 25 miles an hour when he went out to the door. They gave him the red flag. He immediately backed out of it. And when that happened, the sled would not stop and kind of shoved him a little crossways on the end.
I'll tell you what, he's behaving at the end of the track like he's got an extra policy from Allstate.
Let's watch him.
Watch this.
He starts off real slow, works the tires a little bit, checks the traction now on the front of it, straightens them out. Now he's just easing into it. Further he goes down the track, the harder he goes into the pedal. The truck really builds up a lot of speed here at half track. Just kind of kicks the afterburner in. You see he's hooked up very, very well, headed out the door. It's a full pull, and it's a beautiful job. But watch the truck shut off. It shuts off immediately. When it does, the sled will not be able to stop. Kind of kisses him right there at the finish line.
I was going to say, let's exchange license and call the police. But he looks to be okay, and the Miracle Maker with a great pull, a full pull tonight for Bobby Layton. Bobby Layton may be a maker of miracles. He had a full pull. And so if it goes to a pull-off, you know one thing, Bobby Layton is in. If it doesn't go that far, this man may have won it. Although here comes Brian Dick, another native of Phoenix. This is the Teenage Revenge, 75 Ford, 429 under the hood. Tell me about this engine.
Cobra Jet. One of the factory hot rods from Ford a number of years ago. And this is also a regular on this circuit. Does an extremely good job. There's a number of these people in the family that pulls in this class. You're going to see the youngsters getting started here, and maybe Dad's got a modified. There's a Cobra.
That's a Cobra.
The Cobra Jet.
Well, we'll see if the Cobra Jet, pretty truck, yellow with a great paint job.
Look at the front tires, Ken Brew. They're a street top height tire, but they've got a little bar cut in them, just a little bit added traction to help the truck out as it goes down the track. There's a shot of the bars on it. There's not much tread, so he's just getting traction, basically like a perfectly slick drag tire would.
Well, Brian is revving it up, about to wail, and he knows he's got to go a full pull to make the big show. Teenage Revenge.
Easing into it just the way we saw the other truck do, trying to build up speed, doing a great job, and he's just down the inward end. The truck shatter a little bit, but he looks like he's going to make it. He's out the gate in the full pull. The truck shattered just a little bit about mid-track. Looked like the clutch was having a little problems hooking up mid-track, but it came through it. Could be a problem when he comes back in the pull-off. We know we're going to have a pull-off. Teenage Revenge, the Miracle Maker have already qualified.
Let's check the replay out, and you'll see the chatter right about at mid-track when he seems to dial it in.
Truck hooks well, got a good start off the starting line. Everything seems to be going right for him. Right in this area, you're going to see the truck shake just a little bit. The truck chatters. And right there, it just really shakes pretty hard. That's a clutch, I believe, Ken Brew. But it even smooths back out, and he makes a full pull in style.
Teenage Revenge. Brian Dick behind the wheel. He goes the full tilt. And so we'll have a pull-off. Ken Brew with Mike Galloway as the super stocks roll on at the sled at the starting line is Just Casual. Just Casual needs to go the full distance to get to the pull-off.
57 Chevrolet 402, and he is hooked up and hooked up well. A very fine pull.
Full pull city for Just Casual.
Well, Ken Brew, the sled is being brutal on them tonight when they're getting so much ground speed when they're going down the track that they can't stop the sled. These little trucks are really hooking up, and they're doing it with DOT, Department of Transportation, recognized tires. These are the same tires that you would possibly run on your truck.
Now, I talked to a lot of these drivers before this competition began tonight, Mike, and they were real concerned. The trucks are outside in a lot of heat. They come inside, 30-degree difference, and they were real concerned whether or not they would be dialed in once they got inside the building. But apparently that's not a concern anymore.
I don't see the concern there at all, Kim Brew. If anything, it's going to help them. They're going from the the dry air outside to the cool air inside, and they ought to be able to put a lot more air inside the trucks, and that's what makes them run.
Just Casual with the third full pull in the super stock competition.
Little short wheelbase truck. He's got good ground speed all the way through this pull. Leaves just about right. He breaks the tires loose on the starting line area, and the truck gains speed all the way down the track. It's a picture-perfect pull for a little short wheelbase 55 Chevrolet. You can see the steam coming off of it. That's the heat between the track and the pan itself, building up steam and rising.
Well, no tuxedo for Just Casual. He's gone the full pull in an open collar. And at the sled right now is Jason's Toy. This is Joe Brown from Camp Verde, Arizona, 69 Ford.
429 motor, and he has got, once again, excellent ground speed. Just hooked to the sled, out the door, in style, right on the finish line, bounces a little bit, brings it to a halt, and Kimbrough, we have really stacked the trucks up in this pull-off.
Well, it's pretty obvious that the super stocks have got this sled figured out.
Well, the sled's a little lighter. The box won't go up the ramp quite as fast for the super stocks as it does for the modified we'll be seeing coming up a little later on.
Well, there's the sled. It has been mastered now by 4 trucks. The first truck did not get to the pull-off, but every one of the next 4 have qualified with full pulls. Here comes Jason's Toy.
Good running Ford truck. Once again, he watched the other pullers. He's got it all dialed in. Went to school, as you have said many times. Knows what's going to happen. Eases into it, and the further he goes, the harder he matches the pedal. The truck hooked up good. You can see a little ground coming off the tires. Full pull. It's that simple tonight.
You know, this sport is a tough sport if you're making money. You're getting a weekly paycheck. If you're on a fixed income, man, it's even tougher. Now, how about a couple of guys that are using their Social Security checks to make it to all these events? I'm not going to tell you anymore. Mike Galloway's got the story. Let's go trackside.
I'm with 2 of the finest gentlemen in pulling. They're running a pair of trucks tonight, old-timer and old-timer 2. Frank, you're driving old-timer.
The old-timer, the old truck right here.
And what year?
1953 Dodge Military.
With what kind of a motor?
It's got a 455 Oldsmobile. It's my Mary Oldsmobile.
Now, Frank, is there a lot of difference between the modifieds and the super stocks?
Yes, sir, there sure is. There's a lot of differences.
And, Pappy, you're driving the big truck.
I'm going to try to.
And it is?
75 Chevy, 3/4 ton, 468 cubes.
How long have you been in this?
I've been running this particular truck right here for 5 years.
Pappy, you like this pulling, and you guys have been at it a long time. Do these youngsters bother you?
Whenever we can't beat them.
And that's not very often. The question I'm sure that a lot of people are wanting to know, how old are you?
I'm 66.
And Frank, how old are you?
I just turned 60.
Well, it just goes to show you that age makes no difference in the world of pulling, because here's 2 gentlemen that can run with the best of them.
Well, there's his partner checking him out.
There's Pappy. Pappy's got his eye on Frank. Pappy's the elder of the 2. Frank's just 60. He's the youngster.
Well, listen, it's a 53 Dodge Military.
Pappy built this truck in 2 weeks behind the house. It's an old fire truck for a small town here in Arizona. It's a big 455 Oldsmobile, and he is smoking it. Look at him, going on with it.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. That old-timer can run with the young Turks. Full pull.
Well, Pappy seems to be a little happy about it. There's got to be one of their fans tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Those are 2 great guys.
You know, they told me that they have pulled here at this event in Phoenix 5 times, and they've only lost twice. 3 wins in 5 years.
This is true. I mean, these guys are just like clockwork. They roll in, they unload, they go to the sled, and they go out.
We'll have more truck action here from Phoenix in just a moment.
Do I have to be a mom today?
Then open your eyes, close the ladder, and you realize that hope is the way to make you feel alive. Coast, feel alive.
Hey, just warming up.
Feel alive.
1982, Benny Parsons breaks the 200-mile-per-hour mark. 1984, Johnny Rutherford is the first driver to reach 215 miles per hour. 1985, Bill Elliott becomes the Winston $1 Million winner. 1987, Alain Prost breaks Jackie Stewart's longtime winning record with his 28th win. If there's a record to be broken, you'll see it on ESPN's Auto Racing. Over 1 million miles of racing experience on ESPN.
So it's on to the pull-off, the Miracle Maker. The first guy that went the full pull was Bobby Layton, so he is first out of the chute in the pull-off tonight.
Well, you could bet that the sled's going to be much heavier this time around. Lauren Pryor has shifted gears, and it will have that box come up the ramp much quicker, transferring it from a rolling to a dragging weight. I don't think we'll see any of them out this time around.
No Miracle tonight in the pull-off. I would say, just by looking at it, maybe 140 feet and change on the pull, but we'll wait for the official measurement. Bobby Layton, just as we suspected, 140 feet, 9.5 inches in the pull-off. Well, he's the first guy, so I guess that's the mark to beat. But maybe just casual can equal what the Miracle Maker did in its pull-off. Alan Kervingo from right here in Phoenix needs to better 140 feet, 9.5 inches.
Yeah, Bruce, I think he can do it if he really launches hard. He needs to be on it right out of the starting line.
It has the makings of a good pull.
Got a good run going. He's going to take the lead with that hook.
I think so. I think he's got the lead. We'll wait for the official measurement, but it looked like he got the lead with that.
Got a little more ground speed than most of the trucks did out of the starting line, and may not be over with yet.
Here's our new leader, Alan Carvingo, 145 feet, 3.5 inches in first place. But here comes Jason's toy trying to beat it.
Ford is really hooked up. Big motor. He can do it.
Oh, man.
He's going to go for it.
Oh, man.
He is on his way looking at the door.